I don't think they could even move fast enough.
Is the bus really? Cause you're way up on the hill. How does she get to school?
Kenzie,
Yeah.
her boyfriend picks her up,
Oh, okay.
or we have to take her.
Okay. She'd have to walk all the way down the ramp road.
Yeah, we drive the kids.
Yeah.
We drive them, it's just, my sister lives right across the street from C Street there, house there. So when we drive them up there, he just walks over. Or at my parents and he walks over. I'm off for that, pick him up out front, or like today, must not like take him
Good
up.
kid, solid kid. He's like, so, you know what? Solid.
You don't say much.
Solid.
That means he's smart.
He's really smart. He didn't get it from me, I can tell you that. It's gotta come from his mom.
Oh, she didn't get it from her father.
No. Is that the truth?
That knucklehead.
He's one that thinks about everything.
Oh, yeah.
Because even in sports, like he went from basketball, they couldn't steal, couldn't do all that stuff, to now he's playing on a league where they can. Well, yeah, I can't, I'm like, no, you can now. Like,
Cause you're, yeah. We're starting, multiple ball here.
he can't at sixth grade, I don't think.
Yes, yes.
Oh, they can?
7 to 8.
I didn't know that.
$6. Get on it. Didn't even look. I pulled out my phone to look at the time. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, roll call of the council, please.
Smith,
Here.
Bender,
Here.
Burbank, absent, Green,
Here.
Arsano.
Here.
Ferguson. Here. Anderson,
Here online.
it's on Zoom.
So 6, 3, yeah. Okay. And you can hear or see her. Okay. All right, I'm gonna request for a couple modifications to the agenda tonight. The first modification will be to add a presentation by Courtney and Dominic regarding the City Hall remodel. And the second thing will be to strike item 4 until our next council meeting for committee appointments. Just need a,
On item 4,
Under the call to order announcements, appointments, he's just not gonna do committee appointments tonight.
oh, got it, yeah,
no, thank you, item 4, sorry.
okay, sorry, up there.
Move to approve the amended agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Mayor, can we get a motion to excuse?
Oh, absolutely, sorry, yeah.
Motion to excuse Councilmember Burbank.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
All opposed? Thank you, council. Thanks, Trina.
Mhm.
Okay. Done. I guess let's see.
Start with mine and Dom's
Yeah,
presentation.
yeah. Guess we'll start with the presentation.
Perfect. Dom, do you want to come up here? We can go, it doesn't matter either way. Treva, will you bring up the PowerPoint? So tonight, the council is scheduled to take action on the architecture and engineering services proposal for phase 2 redesign of the City Hall addition and modernization project. At our last council meeting, staff presented 3 alternative designs, and it was discussed that these could be viewed as bid alternates. What you see on the screen right now is more or less the design that we have today, with 2 additions spanning each way, no additional features added to the entryway. This would be considered option A. Option B would be this alternate where we keep the existing roof line, but really just extend the existing entryway to add a little bit more modulation. And option C modifies the existing roof line and creates a more prominent entryway. Last meeting, we had discussed that the cost addition for this option C would be close to $400,000 to $500,000. Earlier today, I met with Dom and the architect, Trent from Tavani Hart, and they shared that they anticipate that the cost for this alternative C would be closer to $150,000 to $200,000. Additionally, they shared that, can you toggle back and forth between B and C just really quickly? As you look at the differences between these two, the structural changes between B and C with the roof line are not only changing on the exterior, but also the interior. And the amount of structural changes that it would cause really do result in two different design concepts. The majority of the work for the redesign are going to be impacted by which roof line we select. So with that, as part of the amendment to the scope of work, they are asking for direction on the roof line. And ultimately, if we wanted to package options A and B together as one, which would be a bit alternate, A being the base, B being that slightly more prominent entryway, or option C alone. As a bid alternate, we could continue to have a composite roof on the main structure, but anything under the new shed roof line would be metal. So there is a cost saving option there, and we would continue to have a bid alternate for the parking lot. So there would continue to be some cost saving measures, but we would be anticipating adding an additional $150,000 to the base project cost for alternative C, as well as adding, as you can see, a little bit of additional square footage by having that more of a, we're guessing it's 11 feet by, it looks like 20, 30 feet in length
Yes, they're covered.
for an entryway.
You can't see the entryway there, but the entryway in alternative C also is out a little bit. So when you go into the new city hall, there's a little more of a waiting area in there, as well as that covered area, which is a little bit of a convenience if you're going to do some business at city hall, that you're getting out of the sun or the rain, so it's an added feature. There's not a whole lot of internal square footage added. There's no new offices. There's no real change. It's really more. And I think at the last meeting it was agreed that this is the preferred. It maybe looks nicest and would be preferred, but we had kind of sharpened the pencil a little bit to take a harder look on, well, what really is the cost? So what I think Courtney is saying is that for the amendment on the redesign, we would like direction from the council to either go with what you're seeing as an option, which is C, or to go with the A and B combo. Because the redesign effort would be focused on either one of the two, and doing both would cost us more than what you see in front of you. But either of those two options is covered for the amendment in front of you. I would just say that the what you're looking at is the more expensive. So there is a little more risk that you know, the bids come in and you have to make a decision on when you're going to award the night, or award or not on that night. Those awards, those bids come forward before you. But as Courtney said, we would still carry the alternates for the metal roof and the asphalt parking lot behind, which gives you a little bit of wiggle room on what you can and can't afford. I think the A and B option is probably the safer bet from a budget standpoint in terms of, hey, what's been budgeted? We're confident that that can be afforded. So why you guys gotta make the tough decisions as elected and then spending the citizens' money is you know, is there a form and function that looks better? There's a function to it, a little more risk. Can you afford it? Versus the other alternate, which is a little more, you know, the similar roof line. And the major thing is the roof line, but I would say this one, not only the roof line, but the entrance. You can see the stairs, you can see, you know, and don't get hung up on the ADA ramp. We've actually looked at a alternate where that ADA ramp would be wrapped around about where the existing one is, so it's not quite so prominent out there how it is, so. That would be kind of a design detail we work out. Are there questions?
Yeah, so option C is now $150,000 more than option A.
Mhm.
Do we have an estimate on what option B is over option A?
75 to 80 is what the architect said
Okay.
today.
And, oh. B is still the greenhouse look.
Yes. And that's, the architect's been adamant that this was kind of an off the cuff, hey, here's an option that, but, so. The greenhouse, that can be, done a little maybe better, it would still be. The intent of that greenhouse was just, again, so when you're going in, you're not just, you know, the city hall now, you're kind of going in that little. Hard way and getting in there, so it was supposed to be a little better of an entry and a little more of a look, but still the roof line is your prominent feature difference that we're talking about.
Oh, that's okay, I'm hiding in the corner. Okay, option A and B.
Oh, would you pull your mic up too, Connie?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh. Option A and B, not a whole lot of difference, except maybe the roof line. Is there about the same square footage in both of those buildings?
The same square footage, option B is simply adding the quote unquote greenhouse. So option A keeps the existing roof line, more or less the existing entrance. Option B for another, say roughly 75,000 redoes, you know, a new stairway, this new kind of greenhouse, looking structure, so it's not the architect's favorite, I can tell you that, who's here. It would be an add-on, it would be a better entrance, but, you know, it's a, but design wise, the alternate B would be added as an alternate additive. So at time of award, you as a council would be able to pick a little bit from the menu. There would be a base bid with 3 additives: the metal roof, the asphalt parking lot, and the greenhouse. We won't call it the greenhouse.
The atrium.
Construction services.
Yeah. For option C regarding budget and funding, looking at the timeline for this project with the architect today, it does look like construction would be estimated to be at least 12 months or about 12 months. And so we would be going into 2025, meaning we would have additional REIT dollars coming in. So we would be able to fund this project, assuming it came in about the engineer's estimate, without needing to use the cumulative reserve or tapping into those utility funds any more than we had discussed at the last meeting.
How, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, how long would it take them to be able to go out to bid?
So we anticipate, if we get authorization to go, we would be advertising in April, opening in May, awarding in June, and best case, they would start in July. And it's about 12 months into.
So the square footage for C, is that any larger than A or B?
Not on the interior, just the exterior
Okay.
covered area is 150, 200 square feet additional. But the square footage for A, B, and C, the internal shell,
Are all the same?
identical.
Okay.
Actually,
A little bit C, I think right at the entrance.
Okay.
So we pull the door out so that where you go in, there would be.
A little bit.
80 feet.
80
Okay.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Nothing
Major.
first,
But there would be all that covered porch area that increases the
It would be a
coverage.
covered porch and then. You know, I don't know how to put money to it, it should be a plus, it's a little bit of a better customer experience if you're going to do business in City Hall and. And you know that, oh, well, I can, you know. Drop off, or I can go inside, my kids can be outside under this cover, or. You know, hey, it's always crowded in there, people are getting passports, but it gives you a little more elbow room on the entrance. 80 square feet doesn't sound like a lot, but it's. It's something.
But it doesn't really fit in with the architect of Buckeye.
It's a difference, it's a different look. It is,
The neighborhood look, it doesn't fit in.
that's.
So all of these prices, everything involved, it would still include the price for the parking lot behind, or is that additional funds? That we
Uh,
have to pay for that?
It is within the current budget for doing A and B. And then, the additional 150 to 200,000, would be, to proceed with this option C. Those are, but we would still carry the same alternates. It's, the metal roof would be a little different because it's not as much metal roofing. If you look at this, the shed part has to be metal roof because of the flatness of the slope. You can't do composition. And then we would still carry the asphalt parking lot behind as an alternate, but it has been figured in the money budgeted now, which would be the AV. And it would be, included as an alternate if you so choose to proceed with option C.
Any more questions, comments, concerns? Likes, dislikes, all that good stuff? I mean. Leave it to you guys, okay? Oh,
Was there a McKinsey?
that's all I was just gonna see that. Mackenzie, if you can hear me, would you like to weigh in on this?
Hi, can you hear me?
No, hold on. Just fixed this earlier.
Priva, I can put it in chat too.
She Zoom and use the phone at the same time. I don't know how that kicks it off. Anybody else while we're waiting? Any comments? Yeah, just, oh, go ahead. Evan.
I would just say, based on the timeline, that go to bid. All the work's done, bid, award, start into 12 months. We have it in the budget for AB. This won't be done till 25, and we have another, that's when we start a biennial. At the end of this year for 25, 26. And undoubtedly there'll be refunds and it's a fraction of the cost of what's been budgeted for C. That's just my observation.
Okay. Mackenzie, if you can hear me on, Courtney's trying to call you on the phone.
Oh, Mackenzie said,
I like the.
I would like to point out, I like option C just because it does stand out and I feel like we would want our city hall to stand out, but I understand cost is risky because we would assume we could use the 2025 budget. So I understand why everyone is comfortable going with A and B because they are budgeted.
Thank you, Mackenzie. Any other further questions, comments, concerns before we vote? Go ahead, Brandon.
Just looking at it, I mean, I'm just not a fan of A and B, ever since I called it a greenhouse.
It's stuck.
It's stuck. It's not really aesthetically pleasing. I think that for me anyway, option C it looks the most like a city hall. And if we're going to go ahead and do this, I think we should do it, you know, in a way that's gonna have some longevity, and I think that option C is probably that option for me.
All right.
Okay, Mackenzie said, I agree with Brandon. Why don't we invest in something that looks nice for a long time?
Okay. All right.
That concludes our presentation.
Okay. All right, super. Thank you, Dom. And do we have a motion? We have a vote for this tonight?
Not
Yeah,
yet,
or we
later.
have a vote later on in the
Oh,
agenda.
Got it. That's why I'm not seeing it. Okay. Oh, all right, we'll get to, I think I skipped over public comment. Does any public comment? This would be a good time to have public comment after that. If anybody would like to speak, we have virtual as well. Go good. Mr. Bergerson.
My name's Steve Ferguson, live in the city limits, thanks for your time. Just after seeing that, I'm still concerned. I didn't understand when Dom answered about the parking lot, with C, we get a parking lot, if we go cheap on the roofs and so forth. That's kind of makes sense, kind of went around the parking lot, like it wasn't a feature unless we can afford it with C. Where I remember seeing before, on different, this was back months ago, but there was gonna be off-street parking with everything that was drawn up. It seems like if we have a business want to build in town, they have off-street parking, that's something we do too, so. Is there money in that for parking lot, the way it's drawn now? That's the question.
Okay.
That's all I got.
I know it'll be an option. On all A, B, and C, will all be optional should the bids come back more than we expected.
I heard it was.
No, it'll be,
If it comes back too much, then we're gonna have a building with still no off-street parking, is that what I'm hearing?
it could happen. We could also have to go to a comp roof on the main structure and just metal on the front, but our intention is to do it all.
Because it's just kind of crowded, when we do go downtown to do something at City Hall. A lot of times I park in grass by the alley, it's getting all night, because if people parking to go to. Ice cream shop and coffee shop. And employees probably take street parking, it just seems like that should be in with the setbacks. That's what you're.
Okay.
Thanks for
Yep.
your time. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, any others? Any other public comment? We have nobody online? Okay. Oh, okay, please. Oh, yeah.
So please wait till
Into
you're
the
at
mic,
the
sorry.
microphone.
Okay, all right, perfect. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody on? Oh, yeah. Yep, please.
Mark Junior, @881 Chief Road. I'd just like to, is there a feature where we can reuse some of this stuff? Like the metal roofing? Or the
Oh.
window?
The stuff that's coming off?
Correct.
Oh, actually, I don't think we've even got into that end of the pool. Okay, oh, reutilize them on the new
Correct.
building. Oh, gotcha. I don't think we've explored that, honestly. Okay, thank you. All right, anybody else?
Hold on just a second.
Oh, one,
Oh, I'm sorry, Mackenzie couldn't hear one of the public comments.
okay, all right. Okay, public comment, and we'll have public comment again at the end like usual. Committee report. I have this to read here briefly, which I think you guys all got this in your email. I want to share an incredible story about a heroic save made by our Buckley Fire Department this last weekend. December 31st, last day of the year, members of the Buckley Fire Department were alerted to a 10-year-old child who fell unconscious at home. As personnel began responding, the incident was upgraded to a cardiac arrest with no pulse or breathing. The first arriving unit to find, the first arriving unit arrived to find one of our volunteer firefighters already on scene performing CPR, which continued for approximately 10 minutes. Several additional personnel arrived and the child was successfully defibrillated twice and received IV medications before regaining a pulse and respiration. The patient was transported to Good Samaritan Hospital and later lost his pulse and breathing again. Crews successfully resuscitated him after a second time, after which he remained conscious and responsive until care was turned over to emergency department staff. The child was later transferred to Mary Bridge Children's Hospital for monitoring in the ICU. On last Tuesday, Chief Scogan was able to visit the patient and his family at Mary Bridge, where he was in stable condition and awaiting discharge to come home. This was an extremely rare case with a very positive outcome that does not appear to have had any permanent deficits for the young boy. While there were no personnel on duty at the fire station at the time of the call, the overall response time from dispatch to arrival for the first unit was 8 minutes, 15 seconds. The on-duty AMR paramedic was joined by Chief Scogan and 9 Buckley volunteer firefighter EMTs who responded directly to the scene from their homes, along with Chaplain Lori Noel, Chaplain Carrie Bradshaw, and Sergeant Fetter. An aid unit from Enumclaw Fire Department was initially requested to assist, which arrived and helped assist with moving the patient from the upstairs bedroom to the Buckley Medic Unit. The incident represents a tremendous amount of teamwork that resulted in a young life being saved. There'll be more to come on this for council. We're working on some. It's fortunate and unfortunate at the same time. We have both with police department and the fire department. They feel it is just part of the job, and it is. But it also, I feel, should be recognized, and we're going to work on that moving forward in a semi-permanent fashion. Yeah, this is just one of those. In fact, just adding to that, just a little bit of my own knowledge, the hospital actually reached out to Chief Scogan and said, we really want to know what exactly you did, because this rarely, if ever, happens. So that's how this kind of got generated in the letter that you received in email. So all excellent things and nothing less to be expected in Buckley, but just a great outcome. And we have both on the police side and the fire side. It's life-saving, happens all the time, but this, especially with a young person, they've got a lot of life left to give. So anyhow, just wanted to read that off on the mayor's report, and then we'll get into council member comments and go to the order. Ron.
I can tell you, mayor, council, and everybody here, that law enforcement and firefighters do consider it just doing their job. But at the end of the day, you have to recognize the good, because when it's not good, that is handled expeditiously. So I agree. I think, like you said, a young person, they saved a young person who's not supposed to have that condition. That's outstanding. Yes, they did their job, but they need to be commended.
Perfect. Thank you. Any other council member comments? Go to the order stuff? No? Okay.
Agenda?
Yeah, I guess full disclosure, I am very proud that our second daughter was the first one there on scene, so proud of that kid. So in fact, she was headed to the station to get on the bus, the ambulance, to go, and as soon as she saw that the call had changed, came in. I'm sure she wasn't looking at her phone while she was driving, but she went straight there. So yeah, consent agenda.
All right,
Please.
on tonight's consent agenda is an interlocal agreement with the town of Wilkeson for police services. Approval of the minutes of the August 8th, 2023 council meeting. Approval of the minutes of the August 22nd, 2023 council meeting. The September 12th, 2023 council meeting, September 26th, city council meeting, October 3rd, city council study session, October 10th, city council meeting, and claims and payroll.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carries.
And did you get McKinsey too? I don't know if she voted. Anyway, just, I'm sure you'll have it on there.
Next item on the agenda is architecture and engineering services proposal for phase 2 redesign of City Hall addition and modernization project.
Move to approve the architecture and engineering services proposal for phase 2 design and city hall addition and modernization project.
Second.
Discussion, any questions? Yeah, absolutely, Ron.
So we had a presentation at the beginning of the meeting tonight regarding A, B combo or C. We had discussion around that and questions to the city engineer. So I guess what I'm asking is, we're in discussion on this. Do we have to nail, we are nailing down A, B combo or C? Right here.
Actually, do you want to answer? Actually, we just need to nail down, well, we don't have to nail down, there's lots of details to come. But they're gonna quote us or build the quote to be bid on building A or B or C. Okay. With options, with addendums. Go ahead, Kenny.
So with option A, we already have the design, right?
Not for the second edition.
So
So we have the design for the entryway and we have the design for the initial edition, but this amendment is for the second edition, which we discussed a lot last year, but we never approved a contract for.
So with the design A, skipping the greenhouse, keeping it with the A, does that look match what town's supposed to look like?
I'm not sure I
Or like
understand.
the vision that, like people, you know, how the comments were made that they want to keep the vision of Buckley.
We've received, I think I've heard the same feedback that you all have heard, that option A looks like a house with wings. It doesn't have a prominent enough entryway. I think that it probably just depends on who you ask what the preferred entryway is. Ultimately, it's the council's decision, what design you would like to move forward with.
And really, it's kind of the roof line and we can.
Yeah,
We can bring
that's
those.
what it comes down to, is the roof line. So if you do choose to go with A, B combo, that option B to kind of extend the entryway, we can bring forward some alternatives. What the design team needs right now is to know which roof line we're going with so that they can move forward with designing all of the interior in that second edition. So if we don't have direction tonight on the general roof line, we won't be able to meet that April bid open or advertising for bid likely.
So if we, just real quick, I'll add to that. If you've got just. So the roof line being a gable, this has got a little, what they call a tip. So the gable coming out as a peak, this one, and then B. Also gable, that's not a huge design change, and then C. There's no gable at all, and this is just an extension of the roof line, so those are the two. Kind of what you think looks better. They just can't. Let me get over here.
No, I got it.
It would cost significantly more to bid all three. They can do A, B, or C. That's kind of what we're looking at tonight. Ron.
So what I hear is the AB can be bid at about the same dollar range. But if we go to C, they're not even gonna mess with AB.
Correct.
Correct. And if we go with A, B, they're not going to mess with C. And last week, we brought you these three options. And so we wanted to be very clear that as you make a motion tonight, you're not getting all three options. The cost for designing all three options, that third one would be an additional $50,000, which for $150,000 value of improvement, that's a third of the cost to construct it. And so really it becomes a question of, do you want that alternative And then they'll just move forward with that alternative. And if not, then we'll come back with AB. And if I can respond to the concern with the parking lot. The parking lot is listed as an alternate for all of the designs, just as a cost saving option. And so right now we do have it budgeted to include the parking lot, but if we did receive bids again that came in over the engineer's estimate, it's an option for council to choose to not move forward with paving it immediately and instead moving forward with a gravel parking lot for cost savings, just an option. And we'll review those options once we have the bids back and have identified all of the options for funding sources.
Kenny,
When we went out to bid the first time, it was an alternate, the parking lot.
correct. And the metal roof as well, which it will
Yeah.
be here as well. The only thing that isn't an option is if you chose C, the shed roof, the covered porch, for lack of a better term, has to be metal because of the pitch, and we could comp the rest of the building. So, but that would also be an alternate that we can add. Metal versus comp on the main building. Connie,
Okay, so if I understand this, A and B, we can pick the different roof lines. But C, even to be built, want to take longer. And two, will cost significantly more than A or B.
I don't think it
And
would.
do we have the money in the budget totally right now for C?
No, we do
Okay.
not have the money in the budget totally right now for C. It would be an estimated $150,000.
like,
With that being said, the $150,000 is roughly the amount of the alternates for the metal roof and the parking lot, which we currently have budgeted for. So if we didn't do the parking lot and the metal roof, we would potentially have it fully budgeted for item C. Again, we'll come back with a laundry list of these are our options per the bid and what combination would council like to see. But for what we have budgeted right now, we have A, B with a parking lot and a metal roof.
and time to build's the same.
Yep, time to build is the same, and A, B, the roof line is the same. It's just a slightly different entryway. Option C, the roof line is different, so the entryway is different.
Yes. Okay.
Ron,
So the way I understand this, and maybe the parliamentarian can chime in, is there was a motion and a second on the regular agenda 1A, which is general in nature. And now we got to get down in the weeds on A, B, C. So that tells me that there needs to be no amended motion.
I'll just throw this in there. I believe the motion is to award for them to move ahead with the design, yay or nay.
Yeah.
And
either
you
way.
guys can pick which thing you would like to go to.
Yes, yeah, so this vote right here is just, are we going to expend the money for the additional architecture and engineering
And design.
for any A, B, or C?
I thought what I heard the city administrator say is if they looked at A and B, they weren't going to look at C. If they looked at C, they weren't going to look at A and B.
We also need direction, if that's incorporated in your motion or simply via this discussion where we receive clear direction, we're fine with either process.
Move to amend the motion.
Oh, well, first we got to withdraw.
No, you can
Okay.
amend.
Oh, yeah, you made the.
Move to amend the motion, architecture, well, I don't have it in front of me. I'm gonna read it verbatim. I closed it. Move to amend the architecture and engineering services proposal for phase 2 redesign of City Hall addition and modernization project to include options A, B, and C.
Can I ask one more question?
Gotta have a second,
Oh.
or,
Second.
yes, question.
So is the engineering cost the same for A and B as it is for C? Cause you
Yes.
think C would be cheap or more expensive than A? And it's the exact same?
Mhm.
So it's gonna cost $100,000 to do A and B and or C.
Yep,
So it's
and,
the same price regardless.
Yeah,
and
because,
150. Are we comfortable?
well, that's
for
the,
all three?
not yes, you're correct, because B added to A is just the atrium greenhouse. There's not structural stuff. These are, they just need direction on structural, which design do you want to go after to bid?
That's, yeah, helps make sense. So if we go, just stick with straight A, there's no cost in the engineering?
There is, it's still $100,000 because we need the second edition designed, which
Okay.
we've not yet done. Up to 100,000.
Connie? Oh, Denise, go ahead.
Can you pull your microphone closer to you, please? Sorry, thank you.
So basically, the 150 versus the 100 is, it's gonna cost $50,000 more to design C
Mhm.
than it would to design A or AB.
In addition to C. So if we start now, the work to do the structural improvements and changes to change the roof line is covered in the $100,000. If we choose to do both, then they have to design 2 roof lines in 2 separate entryways, which is going to be an additional $50,000. So sum total of $150,000.
Which is not the motion. Well, I guess it's within the motion. Go ahead, Dom.
So the redesign services, what has been designed and bid already is just the bump out to the east. It's an L shape. That's what's been designed and bid. This redesign is bumping out to the west towards A Street, making it a T. It includes mechanical, electrical, structural, plumbing, all that. For A, with B as an alternate, so the AB covered by $100,000. If you select C only, covered by $100,000. So Ron, I know you amended your motion to say A, B, or C. If the motion is meant to be authorize the architectural engineering services for $100,000 for C, I think that might be a legitimate motion. Or you could say authorize $100,000 for redesign services for A and B. I think that's legitimate. But
Yes.
I don't think it can be A, B, and C, because A, B, and C is not 100. A, B, and C is 150. So, and what Courtney is saying is spending another 50 to do A, B, and C for spending 50,000 for the option to do something that might be 150,000 doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. It seems like you're maybe not the best use. So I think if the sentiment is you want to go with A and B, then I think the motion may be amended to say do redesign of A and B. If you want to C,
We can have
but
two,
I don't know if
we can have 2 votes if need be, but what? If we had to have a second motion, if A and B failed, then you want to go, we can do it that way, correct?
Yeah, we just need to clarify what you guys are voting on now. So Councilmember Smith, are you saying for A and B or for C, or you want them to do all 3?
I was trying to clarify.
Yep.
What body of work we were going to get for approving this.
Up to $100,000.
I don't think in good conscience that we can go forward without seeing what A, B, and C costs.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's due diligence. I don't think I'm partial to C. However, I need to see what it costs.
Yeah, and that was the estimate, engineer's estimate was 150 additional for that. Without getting into every detail. And if they want to, if we want them to bid all 3, to build both models and bid them, then that's going to be 100. This is to authorize the spending of 100,000, up to 100,000 to do one or the other. That would be an additional 50,000 to do all 3.
Well, I believe.
If that makes sense.
I believe that's due diligence. I think we need to know this. I think we need to know what this costs versus this design, that design, the other design. I mean, $50,000 is the cost of doing business. I mean, I certainly wish it was $50, but it's not. And I think that in order for us to have enough information, we should know what all of these things cost, so we can pick the right one.
Okay. I think that's clear. Kenny?
Well, I was just gonna say, so at the end of the day, option B, take all the numbers aside. If we go with option B, engineers estimates an extra 75,000.
Mhm.
So we're gonna, if we pick B, we're sticking with that regardless. So between B and C, there's only what, 75 grand difference
Correct.
that we'd have to find versus,
And we would spend another 50,000 to find out.
Yeah, so
if we
you're better
wanted-
off
That's
either
why
just-
we got kind of a ballpark is,
I would say you're better off going straight with A or straight with C and skipping B. Or however, but.
okay. Brandon,
How confident are we on the estimates of C? Or is that just kind of a guesstimate?
Will you step up to the microphone? Thanks, Tom.
The architect, contacted the, cost estimating professional, her name's Jason Cutler, and she came back with the number 150, and I said 150 to 200, because my gut tells me 150, boy, that'd be great, but I think 150 to 200 makes me feel better in terms of that range.
We were at 450 last Tuesday with option C, right? So additional 400 or 450 or something like
Yeah.
that?
That was,
Okay.
that was the architect's gut before he talked to.
The estimator.
Okay. Okay, so now it's substantially dropped.
Yep.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's 150 or 200, it's,
Yeah. If it was
Half.
500, I don't.
Yeah. okay. Okay, thanks.
The fact that it's substantially less, I think, puts it in the realm, but you bring up a good point, Kenny, about the 75 for that, the little adding the new entrance in the greenhouse look. You know, it's, you know, the numbers start getting closer, but, it still would be a, if you have the information you need. Unless you have another question from me, yeah?
Amend my motion.
okay. Thanks, Tom.
Move to approve, to amend my second motion. Approving the architecture and engineering services proposal for phase 2 redesign of City Hall addition and modernization to include option C.
Second,
Okay, let's vote on this and then if, how this goes, well, and we have Mackenzie still.
Mhm.
Cause we have 6. I don't want to be the tiebreaker, but so be it. Okay. All in favor of Ron's third motion for option C and spending the 100, roughly up to $100,000 for design of Buckley City Hall.
Aye.
aye.
Nays? No. Okay,
Mackenzie's an I.
okay. Denise, I'm sorry, I didn't hear your vote.
So I have a question. Can I ask a question
You have the vote.
in the middle of this?
Nope.
Because it's up to $100,000, but they're saying that if we want to do all 3 options, to have them engineer all 3 options, it would be 150.
Correct.
So if we just go up to 100,000, are we gonna get incomplete?
We're gonna get C. Currently, if this vote passes, we'll get, we'll get option C
Just.
with its options.
Just option C.
Correct.
Okay. Nay.
Okay, so 2 noes and 4 in favor. Okay. Motion carries. Sorry for all the confusion. We just had a meeting prior to this trying to nail down some of these things, so,
Thank you, council.
all right. Blah, blah, blah. Back to public comment. And, Mark.
Here you go, thank you. That was extremely confusing. And I will say that on option C, they talked about having the option to go away from the asphalt shingle or the metal roof, but Don said you can't do that.
Oh,
Correct.
Yep. Yep. Our preference would be a parking lot and metal roof and the whole enchilada, but we'll see how the estimates come back once we get it built out, the bid built out. Yes, please.
For future, they get one.
Oh, that's,
3 minutes.
Can they get one in the beginning, one at the end? No, okay, okay. Good to know. I didn't know that.
Do I still have time?
Yeah. Yep, start the buzzer.
Steve Ferguson, City Meeting Law. I just wanted to mention.
City of Buckley.
I'm probably not telling you anything you don't know, but I've built houses for myself, built houses for other people. And I've built houses that were spec houses. And I had as much control as a person could possibly have over a project. It always costs more, it always takes long, so. It'd be nice to hit the budget or bring it under, but. I still see this things being added on later, so that's just my comment, so anyway, thank you.
Yep, thank you. All right, that's for anybody else on? Oh, please.
Hello, Mayor,
Hi.
council members. My name is Dave Morrell. I'm the Pierce County Council member for District 1. And I just wanted to come and say hi to the new council members and to those that are coming back again. And I appreciate all the collaboration that I get from a lot of my small cities. I need your help in building a better East Pierce County. So anytime we can engage on anything at a county level, please get in contact with me. The biggest thing we have this year is, of course, the comp plan update, which is huge for all of Pierce County and all of Washington really. So I appreciate some of the members, especially Councilmember Green, working with him on multiple committees, county level. And look forward to more collaboration and thank you all for entering the arena of politics. And understanding it's not glamorous, but it needs to be done and you are the ones that are going to do it. So thank you, and anytime you need to get a hold of me, Courtney knows where I'm at. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. All right. I think we'll do another quick round of council member comments and go to the order if anybody has anything before we have a motion to adjourn. Anybody? Oh. Did we? Do we have?
It was
anybody?
just me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just quickly, 2 updates, one on the street sweeper. We have demoed 1 sweeper last week and we have 2 additional demos set up for this Thursday, weather permitting. If not this week because of snow, it will be pushed on to next week. And then also related to AMR and ambulance service, we have scheduled for Chief Scogan to make a presentation at our next study session, which will be on February 6th, related to some options for that. So those have been 2 high priority items that I wanted to give you a quick update on. That's all. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Anybody have any concerns? County council comments? No? All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, council. Why?